Now, simple fire extinguishers such as this one that's sprayed in a closed area can irritate the eyes and mouth. But instead of running off the bus, these two ran right into the foam. Some call it mudslinging. Others say it's business as usual when it comes to politicians bashing one another. Now, some voters I talked to today say it's getting out of hand. Well, research shows breast cancer is about 100 times less common among men than among women. But some say that number doesn't even matter. Thousands of men at the race say they're standing beside the strong women in their lives. Some of the damage the Hall suffered was here on the roof of their home. They say they didn't need assistance from FEMA, but hearing that those in Harrisburg didn't even get that opportunity is upsetting. Residents say they'll miss the personal relationship with Stratman's Pharmacy. Many who live here in Buckner Tower are on fixed income, and they say the pharmacy would work with them financially to make ends meet. They wonder if a larger drug chain would do the same.
Yeah, we got an emergency. We got a van on fire and we need an ambulance.
The van is on fire?
Yeah, baby got burned.
This neighbor didn't want her face shown, but says she was thinking with her heart.
Seen the van, it was on fire, and I seen smoke, and I heard the boy yell, help, help, so I ran out, and he had another little boy with him. I brought the little boy in.
Where is it burned?
It's burned all over his body.
According to police, the 4-year-old ran inside and notified his father the van was on fire. The father then got the younger child out of the vehicle. But the neighbor says by that time, the child was already severely burned.
How much of his body is injured?
All over.
His entire body?
His whole entire body.
His little face was real black, I guess from the smoke in the van, because he was in a babysitter.
Sergeant Jason Cullum says the boy's father, seen here, left his sons in the van for just a moment to run inside the home. He was taken to Deaconess for burns he suffered while getting his son out of the burning van.
Obviously, he's upset. There's some shock involved. I'm sure that going through that incident is very traumatic for him. Right now, I'm sure that his son's the number one thing on his mind.
The neighbor says the older brother was hysterical and shaken, but not injured. Cullum says the home where the incident occurred is the boy's grandparents. Yes or no? That is the question. But on this year's Vanderburgh County ballot, it's worded a bit differently. It reads, shall the city of Evansville and Vanderburgh County reorganize as a single political subdivision?
What is it going to be? Is it a merger? Is it a subdivision? What are they calling it? Because I really feel they're trying to throw a lot of us voters off.
I think it was well written. It was very clear, should it be consolidated or not. I think the only way somebody would have a question on it would be if they haven't read the paper or watched TV for the past 2-3 months.
You see the signs, ads, and commercials. This hot topic issue is evident throughout Vanderburgh County.
It's been an issue that's been discussed here locally for quite a while with a lot of planning meetings, a lot of opportunities for community input and town hall through a town hall format.
I really think it is just stay the way it is now. I mean, it's worked for us in the past, it's worked for us now. There should be no need to change it.
The wording was passed by state legislature, but the question has some scratching their heads.
It was a little confusing to me too, because they called it a political subdivision. So, I mean, it was a little confusing to me, too. That's probably another reason why my outlook on it is it should stay the way it is.
Many early voters are urging those who haven't punched their ticket to study in advance.
Do your homework no matter when the election is, and, research, all the issues first.
Yeah, I believe it would catch the ones that ain't voted yet, probably catch them by surprise.
A difficult question for some, but the decision is up to voters.
Yeah, he's laid right here.
The 1000 block of West Delaware Street is trying to get back to normal. Early Monday morning, it was a crime scene.
That's what I want. I heard a loud noise. It sounded like a gunshot right outside my house. And actually, I looked outside, and there's someone laying on the sidewalk.
I heard the pop. It was definitely not a firework going off. You could tell the difference.
Ron described seeing Cedric Watt lying on the ground minutes after the shooting.
When I went to him, I could hear him still breathing, real hollow breath. I told him everything would be all right, and, help's on the way. I said a little prayer over him.
Ron says he told his wife to call 911.
Went and told my wife to tell him to hurry, that he was still alive.
Hurry, he's still breathing and he's bleeding.
When I come back, he'd stopped breathing. I checked for a pulse, and there wasn't any. I seen the blood coming off his back, and I seen the blood underneath, so I know it was a pretty bad shot.
A bad shot that took Watt's life, and police say the shooter is still on the loose. Ron says it's been rough after watching a man die, but has a message for Watt's family.
I just want you all to know that he wasn't by himself, that there was somebody near him that cared, at least to try to help. I'm sorry I couldn't, do more, but at least he wasn't alone.
Community leaders, neighbors, and police say enough is enough. The senseless violence has to stop.
Need to ask for forgiveness, need to turn yourself in. You can't go through life with this on your back.
A memory he'll never forget, being the last person to touch and talk to the 24-year-old. But what helps Ron through the pain and shock is a higher power.
Just have faith that he's in a better place and he's feeling no more pain and that he's with God.
Some days it's good, some days it's really bad. Most of the days it's been bad.
It's back and forth. I don't know. It's white cops, black people, so that's never a good mixture.
There's activity on Sweetser Avenue. But when it comes to the law, silence fills the air.
We don't solve crimes without people. I mean, if people don't talk to us, crimes go unsolved.
You may see something that's very important to what they're looking for. Most people just keep their mouth shut here. I don't understand that, though.
Luther Wyatt has lived on Sweetser for a year, but has put in his 30-day notice. He says the crime is out of control, like last week's shooting that landed Thomas Bevenger in jail.
But they say that she was screaming at the top of her lungs. I mean, it was like, somebody help me.
He says the problems aren't those living on Sweetser, it's outsiders.
They come here, I guess, because they know some people that live here, and then they the one gets most of that stuff started.
The good people that live in the area, and there's a lot of them, to start telling their kids and grandkids and neighbors, we've had enough. We need to start fixing our community.
I call them police quicker than
I think they're doing everything that they can. I think it's maybe a little bit out of their hands, though.
Wyatt says the key to eliminating the crime, speaking up.
I'm not scared to talk on nothing when it comes down to my life or either a friend of mine's life and being in jeopardy over some little crazy stuff.
Take it easy.
A code of silence that many say helps no one but the criminals.